And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little game called Dracula's Feast New Blood. Now this is a silly game, silly Dracula-style game, where you are going to be Dracula or Van Helsing or some other weird monster, and you are all at a dinner party, but you're masked and trying to figure out who is who to win the game. It is a social deduction style game, but it's a really fast one. It's almost in the category I would call social deduction filler, although I can see some people might say, all social deduction games are filler, but this one is really fast. It says 10 to 15 minutes on it. It's often just 10 minutes. It's a quick little game from Jelly Bean Games. Let's take a look. In this game, there are 10 different guests to pick from. You're always going to have Dracula in every game. But after that, you're going to pick one more guest, or randomly pick one more guest and a number of players, except in a 4-player game, you'll play with 6. So let's say we're playing a 5-player game, so I might pick Witch, Dr. Jekyll, Boogie Monster, Ghost, and Van Helsing. We got to have Van Helsing in the game. So those are the ones in the game. I'm going to take all the characters except Dracula, shuffle them up, put one in the middle of the table. That's the mystery guest. Then you'll shuffle up the rest of the cards and give one to each player, and then that's the character who you are. You're going to actually put the cards in the middle of the table, matching the different people who are in the game, so everybody knows which characters are in play. Each player is also going to get 2 whisper cards, a yes and no whisper card, and then the game will begin with one of the players. On a player's turn, you have 3 different things that you can do. You can inquire, dance, or accuse. When you inquire, I can just simply say, hey, Susan, are you Dracula? Or I can pick the witch. I can pick any of the characters that are in the game. That person will then give me a card, yes or no. I'll look at that card and then give it back to them. You must tell the truth unless your card says something specific. For example, Alucard's card says you have to say yes if someone asks if you're Dracula. But for the most of the time, you will say the correct answer. The trickster says yes to everything. But you know which characters are in the game, so you keep that in mind. If you dance with somebody, you ask someone, I'll say, hey, Marla, do you want to dance? And if so, me and Marla will give each other our cards. So I look at Marla, see that she is the Boogie Monster, and she looks at mine and sees that I'm Van Helsing. So you can look at those. They can also refuse. If they refuse, then you have to pick someone else and make an inquiry. So if Marla refuses, I can go to John and say, John, are you the witch, yes or no? Now, the last thing you do is you can accuse. When you accuse, you simply take the cards and put them in front of each player. You say, okay, Marla is Dracula, and John's the Boogie Monster, and Susan's Dr. Jekyll, and Fred is Van Helsing. Whatever. You put them in front of everybody. Everybody will then give you a card telling you whether you are correct or not. You shuffle those cards together and reveal one at a time. If they all say yes, you win. If any of them say no, oh well, got to start over. But to do this, you have to reveal yourself anyway. So if I was the ghost, I'd reveal myself and then accuse everyone. You can still win the game after you're revealed, but it's going to be much harder since everybody knows who you are. Now, that is the main way, and every character can win that way. But, the ghost, so the special abilities here, she always accepts all dance requests. And if you're given an incorrect accusation card, she can accuse back. The trickster just says yes to everything. The swamp creature only needs to accuse the neighbors that are next to him unless they've been revealed. Then he has to accuse all players. The zombie, if the previous player danced, you must do a dance on your turn. If anyone refuses your dance request, you may reveal them to immediately accuse. Alucard pretends he's being Dracula, and if he dances with Dracula, he wins, or if someone accuses him of being Dracula. The witch lies if their neighbor asks them, yes or no. Dracula, if your first accusation fails, you can try again. So he gets a double chance. Dr. Jekyll accepts all dance requests. At the end of her turn, she can reveal the switch cards with the mystery guest, the one in the middle of the table. Boogie Monster accepts all dance requests. And if anyone dances, she can accuse. And if your accusation reveals all no cards, then if any accusation, she can immediately figure out who Dracula is, and if so, she wins the game. So there's different combinations of cards that you can have. That's pretty much how the game works. The art in this game is fantastic. I expect nothing less from Jelly Bean. They always have fantastic art. The card quality is good. It's not great. One thing I really like is each player has a reference card that tells you exactly everyone's special abilities. So you don't have to wonder what they do. And then it tells you what the different actions are and what the terms mean. Great card. If I have this and these, I don't even almost need to look at the rule book because it's that simple to play the game. The rule book is very well done. Gives you some examples. It tells you these are the advanced guesses. You should only use those if you're, want a more complex game. But it's very clear in how the game works. Overall, very happy with the components. The only thing you might argue about is they kind of rattle around in the box a little bit. But that's it. This game is in the same category for me as a very popular game in the genre, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Dracula's Feast is that fast. You're simply just going around a table, asking people questions until someone thinks they have it all figured out. The dancing, it's pretty simple. Ask someone a yes or no question, dance with them. Of course, dance with someone gives you information about yourself too, so you got to kind of figure that out. And then when you make that accusation, as soon as someone makes an accusation, there's that tension as you reveal the cards, unless, of course, you know they got you wrong, so there's less tension there. But you can see how many people they got correct. For example, if you guess everybody except for me, then I know who everyone is because I know who I am, and you've revealed yourself. But maybe I'm not the next one in turn order. Dancing could be dangerous. If Alucard's in the game, I don't want to dance with him if I'm Dracula and I don't know where he is. But then if I see that Dracula isn't dancing, then it's like, that person might be Dracula because they're not dancing. So there's not a ton of combos in here, right? There's 10 characters, and they intermix in different ways. I love that the trickster has to say yes to everything. So if you ask someone who they are, they say yes. You're like, well, okay, now I know that they are that person, or they're the trickster. And this also works well with kids. It's silly Dracula. It's silly fun, and kids can kind of grasp the thing. This is a great family-style game, which, of course, Jelly Bean is known for doing. And again, the artwork and stuff is phenomenal. So if you're looking for kind of a small, quick thing to play in between other games, or to play, we sat and played it over and over and over and over again because it was so fast. It was like, all right, let's try some different characters. All right, let's mix them up again and see who's Dracula this time. So a lot of fun, very entertaining. It's a smaller game for sure, but fun. Dracula's Feast. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.